So what is a general question? Don't you know, guys, what the general question is? So the general question is the question to the whole sentence, okay? The whole sentence. So let's take an example. I'm a teacher on YouTube, okay? So now we put M for the first place and we exchange I and M. So, am I a teacher on YouTube? Very simple, guys. Very simple. You don't know this. Very simple. I am a teacher on YouTube. Am I a teacher on YouTube? Okay? So, it's all about the verb to be. So, am, I am. You know, I am, he, she is. We are, they are, you are. Okay? So, now let's take an example with John. John is a student. John is a student. To make up a question, we have to put is for the first place. So, is John a student? Okay? So, is for the first place. Don't you understand this? Alright, so let's move on to a plural. We, for example. We, you, they, it doesn't matter. Plural, yeah? Plural. A lot of people. So we are employees. And the same rule. Very simple, huh? It's are we employees? Okay? Are for the first place. We employees. Voila! Very simple. And this was the general question with to be. Hey guys, so now the general question with all other verbs except the verb to be. So to be, we are not talking about to be anymore, okay? Except to be. So, for example, you often take classes with Mr. Mark. And now we have to make up a general question. How can we make up a general question? By means of the auxiliary verb to do. Yes? Do you often take classes with Mr. Mark? Very simple. Just you put do in front of the sentence. Okay? Do you often take classes with Mr. Mark? Do they take classes with Mr. Mark? Do we often take classes with Mr. Mark? Do I often take classes with Mr. Mark? Okay? So now, let's take the third person singular. And let's take Tyrone. Okay? Our hero is Tyrone. So Tyrone misses classes all the time. Yeah? Naughty Tyrone! He misses classes all the time. So, the third person singular. If in the third person singular, I mean he, she, it, we use es, we add es to the verb, any kind of word. Miss, misses, plays, does, writes, reads. Yes? It's es. So here in the question it should be does. So does Tyrone miss classes all the time? Okay? Does. Does Tyrone miss classes all the time? So we don't need any es after does because does took this es. It swallowed. It ate this es. Okay? Does Tyrone miss classes all the time? Does Mary miss classes all the time? Does it? Did the dog? Yes, the dog miss classes all the time. Okay guys, now we'll talk about the special question. And this special question is formed by means of WH words. So-called WH words. For example, what, where, when, why, whose, how often. Okay? So, let's talk about the question with the verb to be. Do you remember that question or not? I am a teacher on YouTube. Do you remember that sentence? And now our task is to ask the special question. The special question. So imagine that there is no YouTube. Not on YouTube. So our task is to ask a question. So we put where, then we write the same question. Where am I a teacher? I'm a teacher on YouTube. Okay? So just to the general question that was, am I a teacher? We add where, and we have, where am I a teacher? Okay? So he is a student in the university. Where is he a student? That's all about the verb to be. Very, very simple. You just add where here. Okay? So, let's move on to other verbs. So, other verbs. You remember this question. You remember this sentence. You often take classes with Mr. Mark. Yes or no? I hope yes. So, our task is to give a question to the word classes. So imagine that there is no word classes over here. And the question is, what do you often take with Mr. Mark? So you substitute classes for the word what. So it's a WH word, what. So what, then don't forget about do, because you remember that from the general question you have to put do. What do you often take with Mr. Mark? Very simple, guys, very simple. I hope that you understand. Okay, so let's move on to the next sentence. The next sentence. This one, Tyrone, about our Tyrone. So Tyrone misses classes all the time. So he's a naughty Tyrone, yeah? So Tyrone misses classes all the time. Our task is to give a question to the word all the time, to this collocation all the time. So we put how often, how, it's also like a WH word, it's W and H, yes, it contains W and H. It's WH word. How often does Tyrone miss classes? So you remember the question, does Tyrone miss classes with Mr. Mark? But we just put this here, the same general question to the special question here. How often does Tyrone miss classes? You can also ask about, you can also imagine that there is no classes over here, and you can ask again the question, what does Tyrone miss all the time? What does Tyrone miss all the time? So here is what, and here is how often. So now we have different WH words here. Where, what, how often, and again what. You can also ask when, you can also ask how much, whose, whatever.